So welcome to Everything Computerized, I'm CA, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can download and install Visual Studio Code for Windows. So watch this video till end and let's get started. So open a web browser like Chrome and there you need to search for VS Code. Open any link that heads to code.visualstudio.com and most probably you will land up on the download section of VS Code. But if that does not happen, then what you can do is you can click on download button on the top right corner and then you will land up on the download section for VS Code. So Visual Studio Code is available for Windows, Linux and Mac OS. So as we are on Windows, we will be downloading for Windows. So you will be having three options to choose from. The first one is user installer. It will install Visual Studio Code for single user and it does not require admin privileges. It is the recommended way to install Visual Studio Code. The second one is the system installer and it will install Visual Studio Code universally, so each and every user will be able to access Visual Studio Code, and so it requires administrator privileges. And the last one is .zip. This does not require installation and therefore you can run Visual Studio Code without installing onto your system. So depending upon your choice, you can choose any one of these, but I will choose user installer because it is the recommended way to install Visual Studio Code. Now you will have to choose from 64-bit or 32-bit type of installer. So you will have to choose according to your computer. So for that you need to go to this PC and on the blank side you need to right click and then click on properties. Under system you will be having your system type. So I run a 64-bit operating system on a 64-bit processor, so I will be going to install 64-bit version of Visual Studio Code. But if you see 32 instead of 64 in any of these two parameters, then you are going to download 32-bit version of Visual Studio Code. So once you have decided which bit your Visual Studio is going to be, return to Chrome and click on the appropriate button. If you are not sure which version to choose, you can choose the 32-bit version because it will run on all computers. After clicking the desired button, you will be redirected to some page and after a few seconds your download will start. Once your setup is downloaded, you need to click on it and then it will take some time and will launch the Visual Studio Code installer. Click on I accept the agreement and then click on next. Click on next again. It is going to make a start menu folder. If you don't want it to do so, click on this checkbox. I will leave it as it is and then click on next. Now you can choose the options that suits you the best. So the first one is create a desktop icon. It will create a shortcut on the desktop for launching Visual Studio Code. So I will click on it. So I will choose these two options also. So what these will do is whenever you right click on a file or any folder, it will show open with code, so that you can open that file or that particular folder directly in Visual Studio Code as a project. And the last one is for setting Visual Studio Code as the default editor for registered file types. So if there are some Python files or HTML files or CSS files or any other files which are supported by Visual Studio Code, it will be directly opened into Visual Studio Code. So I don't want this thing to happen, so I will leave it unchecked and then I'll click on next. Now click on install and it will start installing Visual Studio Code onto your computer. It will take some time for this process to finish, so wait for it. So as you can see that Visual Studio Code has been successfully installed onto our computer. Click on finish and it will launch the VS Code editor. It will take some time in order to boot VS Code depending upon the speed of your computer. So wait for it to boot up. So VS Code is up on my computer. Let's close the other applications and maximize the VS Code editor. So when you open VS Code for the first time, it will ask you to do some setups, which I don't think is necessary until you are an advanced user. So click on next section and then click on mark done. So now VS Code has been successfully set up. This is the getting started window of VS Code which I don't need, so I'll close it, and we have successfully installed VS Code onto our computer. Soon I will be going to make up a video on how to use VS Code, so stay tuned for that. And if this video was helpful for you, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to Everything Computerized and press the bell icon to get notified whenever I post videos like this. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.